On that night, the world looked ordinary as always. Cities were lit, people walked their streets, and life continued without pause. But in the heavens, something far greater was unfolding. All the golden gates were partially open, their light flowing toward earth. Inside the celestial council hall, the guardians stood in silence. For the awaited moment had arrived. The balance was nearing its decision. Light or darkness. Not a war between armies, but a struggle within human hearts. On earth, the silent guardian stood upon a hill, looking down at the city below. Millions of humans living their lives, but among them there was one moment, a small moment that could change everything. On a quiet street, a human stood before a difficult choice. A choice between revenge or forgiveness, between hatred or compassion. The world around him did not stop, but the entire heavens were watching that moment. In that moment, time itself seemed to wait. Then, the human chose something unexpected. He chose compassion once again. He chose to break the circle of anger. And in that same moment, a burst of light exploded across the heavens. All the golden gates ignited with light, their light brighter than ever before. Inside the celestial council hall, light returned to every wall. The guardians understood the message. Humanity was not as weak as some had feared. Within human hearts, there was true light, a light capable of changing the fate of heaven. And on earth, the human never knew what happened. He simply continued his path. But in the heavens, the decision had been made. The gates would not close. They would remain open as long as light remained in human hearts. And in that moment, the silent guardian smiled for the first time. For the celestial empire no longer merely protected humanity, but was now bound to them forever. After that night, the world returned to its usual calm. Cities continued their noise, and people returned to their daily lives. Most humans never knew what had happened in the heavens. They never knew that the golden gates had once been close to closing, nor that they had saved their light. But in the heavens, the celestial empire shone brighter than before. The golden gates had become stable once again, their light flowing peacefully between realms. Inside the council hall, the guardians stood in solemn silence. It was not a silence of fear, but a silence of understanding. They had finally understood the truth. The fate of heaven was never separate from earth. It had always been connected to it. Every human heart carries a small spark of light. A light that may seem fragile, but when it gathers, it can illuminate the heavens themselves. As for the silent guardian, he still walks among humanity, not as a mighty power, but like a gentle breeze, appearing in moments of quiet courage and in moments of compassion and in choices no one else sees. Because the greatest actions do not happen before crowds, they happen in hearts. And deep within the heavens, the golden gates stand in silence, watching the human world not to judge it, but to protect it. For the celestial empire is no longer a distant realm. It has become part of the human story. And every night, when the world grows quiet and the noise of the day fades away, a guardian walks in silence, and there are gates of light watching the stars, and an entire empire guarding eternity. Because the story has not ended, as long as there is even one human who chooses the light, the gates will remain open, and the empire will remain watching forever.